You know, I've been around for a while. I've met some interesting people. Done some crazy things. You'd think that there wasn't much that could take me by surprise.
A near-fatal attack on a boy is blamed on a painting.
They felt this force in his back, something had pushed him down the stairs.
Can a work of art harbor demons? And after an earthquake in New Zealand, a man is attacked by a ghost.
All I could feel was I was getting strangled.
Do natural disasters release spectral energy?
Yeah, it's a weird world. I love it.
St. Louis, Atlanta.
Although Greg loves her job, tonight she's feeling under the weather.
I had stomach flu or something. So I asked the senior flight attendant if I could go down in the galley and just get away. And she says, well, the flight's really light, so why don't you go down there and, you know, hang out for a bit. So I went downstairs and I just laid down. I was laying there for a while. I don't know whether I had fallen off to sleep or not.
Suddenly, Enid is aware that something isn't right. Although she came down alone, she senses another presence in the galley. Someone is watching her.
All of a sudden, I see a pilot standing down at my feet. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. You know, I'm down here sleeping. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Not only has she been napping on the job, she's been caught by the captain. Enid is mortified.
There was just no communication between the two of us. It was just him standing there kind of like watching me. And then he just moved off.
Desperate to make amends, Enid consults a fellow attendant.
I went over and I said, Linda, I said, didn't you see that pilot down here? She says, there wasn't any pilot down here. I said, yes, there was. I saw him.
Frustrated and confused, Enid decides to apologize to the captain.
I went straight into the cockpit and asked them, were you downstairs? And they said no. And I knew the guys. I knew they wouldn't lie to me.
So who did Enid see in the galley? Had she imagined the entire incident?
There weren't any other pilots on the plane. The uniform looked like it was brand new. The stripes were bright yellow. It was very real. I wasn't asleep when I saw him. I don't believe in ghosts, but I know what I saw was real.
They recognize the ghostly pilots. They are Captain Bob Loft and flight engineer Don Repo. Every Eastern employee knows who they are because Bob and Don are dead. They were killed when Eastern Flight 401 crashed into the Florida Everglades in 1972.
Even the vice president of Istern Erlajns saw what they said was a ghost of Captain Loft and also Second Officer Don. It shook up a flight attendant and the crew, whether it was Don Repo or Captain Loft.
The clock isn't reset. Dr. Samuels thinks the brain goes haywire, leading to a state where people experience hallucinations.
These sunspots and solar activity, and also by other areas in our galaxy where supernovas explode.
Dr. Dahl is convinced this high-energy radiation is especially hazardous for pilots and flight attendants.
With military members. These individuals might have experienced something 20 years ago. And I'm only seeing them for the very first time right now.
Dr. Baranowski says Alan's ghostly visions could be explained by one of PTSD's symptoms, violent night.
Is that satellites pick up where earthquakes have occurred.
Hallucinations caused by carbon monoxide. It's a convincing theory, but there's just one problem. How does it explain Alan's bruises?